we're in a season now where we have adult children that are staying with us a little longer.
Right.
Yes. And a lot of different cultures do that. Our culture didn't necessarily do that.
I don't know cultures that keep the kids home longer. I know cultures that like what y'all did for your mama.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm used to. I know that part, like keeping the elders, but I ain't going for that.
Well, no, you don't have to go for it. But I think now, like with inflation.
Well, it is expensive.
It's expensive to live now. And it wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? For us, we could go find a modest apartment.
But see, I don't know if I agree with that, because I think that the time of that time, the price was the price for that time. And so it wasn't cheap for us. That's why we used to live 3 and 4 in an apartment. We had roommates.
Well, that's true. Roommates do kind of balance things out.
But nowadays, these kids want to live like what they see on Instagram. Yeah. They don't want to go live in a modest apartment where they splitting, $1,500 4 ways.
Yeah, we didn't have no problem doing it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I slept with Kitty.
Yeah.
I said, my girlfriend.
Y'all slept in the same bed.
I slept in Kitty bed because I moved in with them with my mom, and they was like, you doing the most. So I was like, okay, well, I'm this and that. Woo, woo, woo. And I had to go over there. I lived with Kitty, and Tracy had a 2-bedroom. So I just switched back and forth in their bed because Kitty had 2 kids that had to share. Her son.
Back then we did what we had to do.
That's my point. But the kids nowadays don't want to shift their lifestyle from living with us. So they're entitled. So I yes, it is more expensive, but people did what they had to do in order to not live with their parents.
Right.
So started with my child, my own expenses, looking back, subscriptions, things like that. Don't have to get my hair done every week. Just things like that. But the most important decluttering for me has been here.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, because one thing we know how to do, we know how to go make money. Like we know how to get to, you know what I mean? And God willing, and the creek don't rise, and I keep my health.
Yeah.
I will go and do whatever I have to do to take care of my family.
Yeah.
Like that's just what it is. DJ is not gonna go without the necessities. I'm not, those type of things. And because my brother is tapped out.
Yeah, I know. He's like, Keisha, I love you, but I love you, but.
Oh my God, I love my brother so much. He's very close. Right, we should be doing Thanksgiving at his house. But to me, when you declutter this, then getting to the money is easy.
Yeah.
The thing that holds us back from getting to the money is holding on to things here.
So what has that process been like for you?
For me, it's been, and even today, 25 years ago tonight, my mother was killed. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And oh,
geez. But I tell you what, your mother, I never had the opportunity to meet her, but when I see her pictures, when I see her smile, when I hear the stories that you share about her, knowing just how much she loved you, and I just look at everything she gave y'all, everything she had. In those 50 years she had on this earth, she gave y'all everything that she had.
She did.
So she did rest well, because thy good and faithful servant, because she gave everything she had. I look at your brother, I look at you, I look at your sister. What y'all are to other people is just incredible. What the man that your brother is and has been to you, has been to your son. Because trust me, all family ain't required to be that, Yeah. Every brother ain't required to take on what your brother has done for you.
Oh no, definitely not.
No,
I mean, he is...
it's just, but he gets that from you. He gets that from how he was raised. You know.
Yep. My mama always told us to take care of each other, and he has definitely done that. But I don't know. I didn't feel that coming. That just came out of nowhere. Yeah. But so for me, I was saying that part of me shifting here has been able to look at days like today. Like there was a time there was no way I would have been up and out and working on today. Okay. And you know that.
And been in the right headspace to even do this.
Right.
Yeah.
But so part of that has been knowing that it's okay to move forward.
Yeah.
It's okay not to mourn this day so deeply and heavily. And that is not necessarily honoring her by me staying stuck. So that was years in the making for me to be able to say that and actually believe it.
Yeah.
But so to me, starting there, because when I freed myself in my mind, and last week it was the anniversary, if you will, of my husband, being, so this month used to set off a lot of
It was
very triggering for me.
Yeah.
So I would kind of just go to bed around this time and get up in January.
Yeah.
Like literally that was my life. And you know that.
Because the holidays
were just, I wouldn't put up a treat.
It was the anniversary of their death. And then the holidays.
Right. In the holidays. Yep. Because my big Daryl loved Christmas and my mama loved Christmas.
Yeah.
And so it was just very difficult. So for me, that was the first step in freeing myself here. And then I could look around, thanks to Angie. And I had done some decluttering of my home and moving things out, but I again didn't realize how much stuff was still there. So I think that is the first step for anybody. You know, I believe in therapy. I did grief therapy. Now I'm doing regular therapy. But sometimes, you know, it's nothing wrong with needing a coach.
That's right.
It's nothing wrong with needing a therapist. And I think that to me that was the step. But I always say this, and I go back to it, and I know people probably feel like I'm bragging, and I am on my tribe. Because they really saw me through. You were there. The early days, you've been there all the time, the whole time. But I really had people who didn't give up on me.
Yeah.
I really had people who didn't give up on me. And because like I said in my post last week, I was not easy to love in those times. Because I know it's difficult for somebody that you're reaching out to, trying to love on them, and they rejecting you by not responding and all that kind of stuff. And I understand for people who are doing that. But, you know, let people love you through it. Be open. But for me, freeing myself there, and and it's a constant battle. I mean, it is a constant battle. It's not, I don't think you ever get fixed.
Yeah.
Your life is just different.
Yeah.
So it's like you learn to live and be happy again, but you do it with a void, somewhat of a void, right? So for me, that's been the biggest step for me in decluttering. I have to stay focused on making sure I keep my mind clear and know that I am still here. So I have a lot of life God kept me for a reason, which I think that's why I told you kicking with Keshia, I think is a big part of my reasoning for that. You know, him keeping me, he didn't put me through these things to keep the glory for what he's done in my life to myself.
But I kudos to you for acknowledging that and doing your part. Because there are a lot of people that we know that stay stuck.
Absolutely.
Right? And if you aren't committed to doing the work it takes, like you said, you're in therapy, well, it's so funny you said that your friend said to you, you coaching everybody else, but who's coaching you?
He was hard in the paint on me this business time. I ain't gonna hold you.
You out here giving all this big mama advice.
Yeah, well, who's your big mama? And that's the thing about it. I realized, I was telling my brother that just the other day, because my brother was telling me that, he had a moment where because I texted him Sunday. I was like, I really miss mama. I just really want to talk to mama. I wish I could talk to mama. And he's like, man, I really feel you on that. And I was like, I have become the older woman for so many women, but I don't really have that for myself, that I talk to and communicate like that. And he was telling me how the other night she called on him to talk to her. So he went to the cemetery like 11 o'clock at night and just played some song and just, he said he just cried it out. Just cried it out. And I just tell people, that's why I always make sure I tell people, give your people their flowers, man. Show people that you love them, because none of us come here to stay.
That's right.
None of us come here to stay, man. Your friendships, and we went through, you have seasons, but when you love people, you love them through, you see them through. It's worth fighting for, that type of thing. But yeah, for me, I think that the decluttering of the mind has to be the first step of anything, because you can't even look at your space the way you need to see it, because I'm not gonna
if your mind is cluttered,
and if you think that you are honoring somebody, and I know we're kind of getting off the path here, but you think, I told myself I was honoring Daryl not moving forward. I told myself I was honoring him by not dating, by not moving forward, by just focusing on DJ. And the reality is, what did you say, thy good and faithful? He had done his part. So I didn't die.
But that's a process too.
But it is a process.
It's a process, yeah.
But
my mother used to tell me that I made a martyr of my late husband. I remember you told me that. Yeah, I was making a martyr of him. She didn't understand it.
Well, until you in it, it's hard to understand. Yeah. But I had to start remembering some of the times that weren't so great in order for me to move forward.
Yeah,
It
won't take me far. I'm living my life like it's